Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. We're going to look now at how print media brands are faring. The Media Research Users Council, or MRUC, has released the latest round of the Indian Readership Survey this week. There's no change in leadership positions. Dainik Jagran and Vanita continue to be the country's most read newspaper and magazine, respectively. In the English language space, the Times of India and India Today hold on to their top positions. But while newspapers have grown very marginally, less than 1%, magazines continue to dip in readership. Animesh Das gets us all those details.
The third quarter of 2012, between July to September, brought back some cheer to the Indian newspaper industry. After the marginal drop in readership in the second quarter, the latest round of the Indian Readership Survey registered a 0.7% growth for both regional and English dailies. While the pecking order of the top 10 publications has remained unchanged from the previous quarter, 6 of the top 10 dailies have added between 10 to 30,000 more readers. It's only the Hindi daily Amar Ujala, Tamil daily Thanti, Marathi Lokmat and Malayali paper Mathrubhumi that have recorded a drop of under 1% each.
IRIS figures show that there's growth in literacy and in media consumption. Similarly, the growth in print is also linked with that. The whole consumption pattern has changed and it's growing. It's because the offering has changed. The offering is now much more localized news, with the local editions being launched that we see across newspapers across the country. So people are actually reading up more and more of new readers are being added.
We've had, say, for Dainik Jagran alone, a readership growth of almost 11 lakhs in 1 year. And what's more heartening is that these numbers have come from A, across all markets, B, from all important demographies. For instance, something like if I look at the NCCS, which is the new consumer classification system, SCCA, 11 million readers in that segment, and Jagran is the number 1 in the country. And now that's a sizable and a very positive trend for us.
However, it will be tougher for newspapers to bring in ad revenues. Media planners say that large national advertisers in the education and real estate sectors, the biggest spenders on print, have cut back. But expansion into new markets and cultivating local advertisers has offered relief.
We see development happening across the progressively as the Tier 2 and the Tier 3 markets are developing. There's a lot, we see the ad pie also proportionately shifting towards that direction. If you look at it, with the local market economies opening up, there's a huge consumer impetus to spend in these smaller markets, and large national brands are now looking at new areas of growth frontiers or new growth volume drivers.
The latest IRS figures continue to spell bad news for magazines. 7 of the top 10 magazines continue to register a decline in average issue readership, with only 3 titles, Meri Saheli, Somanya Gyan Darpan and Karma Kshetra, recording growth. Sources say that the Association of Indian Magazines will continue its efforts to increase representation in the IRS. Meanwhile, newspapers can heave a sigh of relief. The industry expects the growth in readership to continue well into the fourth quarter. What will also aid the growth in readership will be the new editions that are in the pipeline. In Mumbai, Animesh Das.
While magazines have shrunk, newspapers are growing very marginally. So that's how the print industry is doing. On Message Board, Research in Motion, the struggling smartphone maker that's now calling itself BlackBerry, has launched the BlackBerry 10 smartphones. The company hopes that the latest models will help it get a grip on the smartphone market. It has gone from a 20% global market share to just 3.4% in the last 3 years. Amazing, those kind of stories where leaders seed their gains.
When we first gave you a look at our vision for BlackBerry 10, we told you we were building this with a specific set of customers in mind. It's people who are hyper-connected socially. And now we intend, as RIM, to lead the move from mobile communications to mobile computing, to true mobile computing.
Next, the Trust Research Advisory's Brand Trust Report for 2013 has chosen Nokia, Samsung and Sony as the country's most trusted brands. Nokia leads for the 3rd consecutive year. Samsung and Sony have both moved up to occupy the 2nd and the 3rd positions.
Sony was 5th last year. It's climbed up to 3rd this year. And that's a significant movement for that brand. LG has fallen from its second position last year to 10th this year. So they should reference this and say, what did we do and what did we communicate? That kind of created both a perceptible as well as a tactile difference in what the people see the brand as.
Let's take another break, but when we come back, we'll show you Pepsi's new campaign. Yes, it's gearing up for IPL 6.